Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Shani Hui, and today I'll be taking you through a presentation titled Understanding Key Economic Forces Shaping Our Business. And I hope to provide you with useful insights into the economic trends that is influence the way business operate today. So here's a quick overview of what we'll be covering today. First, we explore the macroeconomic indicator and business cycle. Then we look into tariff and trade wars and their implications. After that, we'll dive into behavior, economics, and consumer choices. And we will also examine the impact of artificial intelligence on labor market inequality. And finally, I'll summarize the key takeaway that business can use going forward. So to start off, let's talk about some of the most important macroeconomic indicators that give us a snapshot of the economy. There are three key points. Firstly is the gross domestic product, also known as the GDP. So it measures the total value of all goods and services produced. It tells us how big and healthy the economy is. Next, we have the inflation. Inflation is the rate at where prices increase, while moderate inflation is a sign of healthy demand. High inflation reduces the consumer purchasing power. Last but not least will be the unemployment. It refers to the percentage of the labor force actively seeking jobs. High unemployment usually signals for economic trouble. Next, we will have the business cycle, which shows how the economy naturally expands and contracts over time. During expansion, GDP rises, employment increases, and consumer spending goes up. The peak is the highest point before a slowdown, often linked with rising inflation. Contraction is when economic activity slows, GDP falls, and unemployment rises. Trough is the bottom, which signals the end of the recession and the beginning of the new growth. Next, why does this matters to all the business? Well, understanding the business cycle really helps us by predicting the shift in consumer demand, monitor interest rate trends, plan investment and hiring more wisely, and overall, it improves risk management and forecasting strategies. So now let's look at tariff and trade wars. Tariff are taxes placed on imported goods to protect local industries. While they can raise government revenue, they often leads to higher prices for consumers and increased tensions between trading nations. For example, under President Trump, the US imposed tariff on Singapore electronics. As a result, Singapore export costs rose and the demand from US customers declined. Next, we have the demand and supply diagram. This diagram shows the typical impact of tariff. Supply decreases, prices go up, and the quantity demanded goes down. So how does this tariff affect business directly? Higher export costs leads to a lower sales. Production may slow, and there could be pressure to reduce jobs moving forward. So by moving forward, businesses should explore new markets like ASEAN, innovate their product to stay competitive, be open to trade negotiation to ease tension. Now let's switch to behavior economics, which looks at why people sometimes make irrational decisions. For example, when people choose unhealthy food, they may because they show present bias, which means seeking immediate pleasure over long-term health. Operate under bounded rationality, which means lacking time or information for better decision. Or they use heuristics, which also means mental shortcuts, often influenced by habits or advertisement. So now we are seeing about traditional comparing to the behavior economics. So traditional economics, they make rational decision, while behavior, they make irrational. Traditional, they are consistent over time, while behavior can change based on framing. And traditional values the future appropriately, while behavior is entirely opposite, which is more on present. So how can we make business more appropriate for the consumers, like to make it traditional economics? So we can use nudges like placing healthy snacks at checkout counters to influence choices, or framing an incentive help consumers make better decisions. These techniques also support the CSR effort and strengthening brand loyalty. So let's move on to the impact of AI and labor markets. In one scenario, AI can actually reduce inequality by augmenting low-skilled workers with new tools, increasing productivity, leading to more equal job growth. Example include AI tools in customer service and logistic automation. However, there also has a risk that AI will increase inequality. It may replace low-skill jobs while rewarding high-skilled ones. This widens the wage gap and could lead to a job loss among the vulnerable groups. Next, what can we expect in 5 years' time? In short term, it can cause disruption and job displacement. In long term, it pushes for reskilling for employee, more hybrid workplace with AI collaboration, and a greater responsibility on organizations to retrain their workforce and adapt. So, to wrap up, here are the main takeaways. Monitoring macro trends helps anticipate business risks and opportunities. Trade policy changes can impact business strategy significantly. Behavior insights can be used to influence consumer behavior positively. And finally, preparing for AI impact on the workforce is essential for future success. Thank you for your time. I hope this presentation gave you a clearer understanding of how key economic forces are shaping our business environment. Thank you.